welcome to another story time. Yeah, it's another Monday. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing fine. There are going to be a few changes to storytelling. I'm not going to always ask for interaction because at the moment my computer, my internet, everything has just been really slow, so sometimes it's hard to get any answers out of you, and I feel like I'm missing a few people's answers sometimes and stuff. But yeah, so welcome to another story time. I am going to be telling you another Anansi story because you seem to be fans of Anansi. And this is kind of one of my favourite ones as well, actually, because it's less about Anansi being a trickster and actually being quite clever in a more friendly way. So yeah, that is our story today. It is Anansi and the Sky Kingdom. So welcome, and yeah, and let me know as well if you prefer this later time. I feel like it's a little bit better. I feel a bit more awake, and I think as well with lockdown sort of easing and things, like it's just something where you can join in a little bit later in the afternoon rather than in the middle of your day. Cool. So I am going to start my story now. It is Anansi and the Sky Kingdom. So there was a point in the world where it was completely dark. There was nothing light. It was so dark that all of the animals that lived in the jungle, they couldn't see. They couldn't see to catch their food. They couldn't see to say hello to their friends. It was very, very dark. And this started to be a little bit of a problem. So all of the animals, they decided to have a really big meeting where they discussed different things that they could do to have some light. What kind of ideas do you think they might have had? Maybe, and you don't have to, but if you would like to type some ideas of maybe how could they get some light in the sky, you can type your ideas just down below and we'll see what you come up with. And that's going to be my test as well, to see what the latency is like. So at the moment, the world is dark and none of the animals can see. So they have their big meeting. What can they do to bring some light into the world? Type your answers below and we'll see how long it takes for you to answer. Yeah, I'm going to have a sip of water whilst I wait as well. Oh. So, it was very, very dark. What would I do if I needed something light? Maybe I'd make a device, like a torch. Maybe I'd get a torch. They don't have electricity, do they, animals? No, in the jungle, I don't think the animals, I can't see a lion using a torch very well. Can you? No. Well, they had their big meeting. And in this big meeting, Lion stood up and he said, "Right, this will not do. We can't see. It's too dark, but I have an idea. And my idea is going to be that we go up through the clouds and talk to the sky gods. And they will surely have a solution. They will know how to help us." Okay. All the animals liked this. They thought this sounded like a very good idea. But then Lion asked, "So, who is going to go up through the clouds into the Sky Kingdom? I can't do it. Because I tried stretching to the clouds, but I just couldn't get there." Well, Monkey was the first to suggest it, and he said, I will go. I am very, very good at swinging up high in the trees. I bet that I could get to the Sky Kingdom, no problem. And so he started swinging through the trees, and then he made a big leap. Ooh. But with a big thud at the end of it. He couldn't make it. He couldn't find a tree high enough to get through the clouds. Ah, well, perhaps I could try, said Elephant. And Elephant swung her big trunk way up high and tried to touch the clouds, but no such luck. She couldn't get through. So all of the animals were trying, all the biggest ones. The giraffe tried with their long neck to stick it through the clouds, but with no luck. None of the animals could reach through the clouds. Then our friend Anansi. Where are your eyes, Anansi? Ah, there they are. Phew. Anansi stepped up and said, I will do it. I can get through, and I will go and talk to the sky gods for you. Well, what do you think the animals did when they heard Anansi say, the tiny spider say, that he could go through the clouds? That's right. They all had a big laugh. You're so small. You couldn't get through the clouds, let alone speak to the sky gods. Don't be silly. You're too close to the ground. How are you going to get into the sky? Well, said Anansi, I will bring my 2 friends with me. You see, Anansi was very clever and had quickly realised that he was going to need some help if he was going to get through the clouds. I will bring my friend Fly, bzzz, and I will bring my friend Ant. And we will go to the sky gods together. And what Anansi did was he started to weave a web, and it stretched really, really far, and he lassoed it up to the sky. And him and Ant climbed whilst Fly buzzed alongside them, and they got right up to the clouds. And then he asked Ant to use his clever teeth to bite through the clouds so that there was an opening. And as they opened, they saw the Sky Kingdom. Ant and Anansi and the Fly all went through the cloud. And in the Sky Kingdom, it was beautiful. I wonder what sort of things you would see in a Sky Kingdom. I think it would be quite bright, maybe, because it's in the sky. And I think there might be some fluffy clouds instead, like candy floss clouds to walk on. And there was the chief sky god. And he was a big, grand god. And he said, Anansi, what are you doing in my kingdom? Well, Anansi explained, down on earth it is so dark we cannot see. And it will not do. We can't hunt properly. We can't farm properly. We can't see our friends properly. We need something from you, Sky God. Will you help us? Sky God scratched his head and he had a good think. I will help you, he said, but only if you can pass 3 tests. 3. Anansi looked at Fly, looked at Ant, and decided, okay, I think we can do this. Very well, said Anansi, we will do your tests. Excellent, said the sky god. I will go into the golden tent and I will speak to the Sky Council and we will come up with your first test. You can wait here. Anansi, Fly and Ant sat down on a cloud and waited, and they watched the sky god go into a beautiful golden tent. Oh dear, Anansi thought. I'm a little worried because the sky god is very clever, and the sky god sometimes likes to play tricks just like me. I think we need to be just as clever because I think he doesn't want us to pass any of his tests. So he asked Fly to fly as close as he could to the tent, and Fly would be a fly on the wall, and he would listen to what the sky gods had to say. Fly did just that and waited just on the edge of the golden tent, and he listened out to see what the gods were saying. Interesting, very interesting, but also very worrying. Fly buzzed quickly back to Ant and Anansi and started to tell them exactly what the sky gods were planning. The sky gods, they want us to cut all of the grass in their field, and we have to do it before the next day. Well, that doesn't sound too hard. It doesn't sound too hard, but it is hard because, well, come and have a look. And Fly directed them to a field that was stretched as far as a football field. It's so big. It's not like a little garden or a path or somewhere nice. It's huge. It's a big football field's worth of grass, and they expect us to cut that by the next day? Wow. Fly was panicking and so was Ant, but Anansi scratched his head and came up with an idea. Ant, you must crawl all the way down the web back to Earth and call upon all of your cousins and your aunts and your uncles and your brothers and your sisters to come up and see this field. Because I bet that all of the ants, if they work together, they can cut this field no problem. Ooh. Ant agreed. That sounded like a really good idea. And so that's exactly what he did. He scurried all the way back down the web and he called on all his aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and cousins, and he brought them all up back to the Sky Kingdom. And they worked together very quickly on eating all of the grass until it was cut to a nice level. You see, I'm pretty sure that you probably already know this, but when you see an ant, you start seeing lots of ants, right? There are thousands of ants, and they are very good at eating and cutting and taking and transporting things. And that's exactly what they did. They cut the grass before the day was over. And they carried all of the cuttings down with them to eat. So all of the ants were very happy because they got a feast out of this and they got to work together, which they're very good at doing. When the sky god came out of the big golden tent and saw that they had already completed the first task, well, he was not very happy. Well done, said the sky god. I'm very impressed that you managed to cut all of the grass. But I still have another challenge for you. I will go to the golden tent and I will talk with the council. And we will come up with your second challenge. Okay. And so that's exactly what they did. Off they went into their big golden tent, and Fly did the same thing. He buzzed away and he sat like a fly on a wall and listened to hear what the next challenge was. Ooh. Oh dear, I'm not sure I can do this. Oh no. Fly buzzed away and went back to Anansi and Ant and told them what he'd heard. You're not going to like this, said Fly. Why, what is it? Said Ant, feeling quite confident that they could do anything now that they'd cut all the grass. Well, you see, he wants us to eat all of the fruit. We have to eat all of the fruit that's hanging in the orchard. And there's a lot of it. He took Anansi and Ant to an orchard, and there he saw lots and lots of fruit. If you want, you can let me know what fruit you think it might be down below. You can type it and let me know. I think it might be an apple. I like apples. They're my favourite fruit. What's your favourite fruit, I wonder? So, all of the fruit was on the trees, ready to eat, very ripe. And we have to eat all of this before the next day is out. And Anansi, he looked a little bit worried this time. All of the fruit by the next day? One day to eat a whole orchard of fruit. What were they going to do? The sky god came out and told them exactly that they had to eat all of this fruit. I'd like to see you try this one, Anansi and your little friends. Just as the sky god said that, Anansi had an idea. Fly. We may be little, but there are lots of us. You must fly down through that hole in the sky and go back to Earth and call upon all your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins and best friends and bring them back up. You see, I am sure that there are enough flies to eat all of the fruit in this orchard. Thought of that, and Fly did exactly that. He buzzed all the way down and he called upon every fly that he could know, and then he asked them to ask somebody that they knew, and all of the flies in a big swarm flew all the way back up to the Sky Kingdom and helped themselves to some delicious fruit. Delicious. And I'm pretty sure you know this, but there are lots of flies. I'm not such a fan in the summer when you open the door and suddenly your room has got lots of flies in it. There's always at least 5, and that's just in one room with one open window. So I'm sure you can imagine that all of the flies in the jungle would be quite a lot. Flies, and they ate all of that fruit, every last bit up. And the flies were very happy because they got a feast, and obviously they'd been able to work as a team, and they flew back down through the hole in the sky back to Earth. When the sky god saw that they had completed the second challenge, well, he wasn't too happy at all. Oh my goodness. How? They are so small. How are they completing my challenges? He crossed his arms. Humph. Well done, Anansi, and your little friends, he said. But I still have one more challenge to give you. I will go to the golden tent and I will speak to the Sky Council and we will come up with your next challenge. And off he went to that golden tent. Now Anansi was a little bit worried. You see, they seemed to be getting a little bit more difficult each time. Fly, off he went, bzzz, and sat like a fly on the wall and listened in. Ooh. Okay, this one is a little bit more difficult. So Fly buzzed back to Anansi and Ant and explained what he had heard. The Sky God was going to offer Anansi 2 boxes, and Anansi could only choose one to take home with him. Now this was a little difficult because how could you tell which one to take? Well, Fly said, we need to work together, and I think that the Sky God might be up to his old tricks. We should choose the worst box. There's sure to be a box that doesn't look appealing, and we need to choose that one. Okay, thought Anansi. That makes sense because the Sky God is full of trickery, just like me. So the Sky God came out, and sure enough, he had 2 boxes. He had a little box, and he had a big box. And the big box seemed to have a nice gold catch to it, and it looked like it was quite heavy. The little box, well, it was tiny. What could you fit in this little box? And it didn't seem to feel that heavy at all. Oh dear. The Sky God said, Anansi, you must choose one of these boxes to take with you to Earth. One of them will help you, but the other will be useless. Choose wisely. And he put the boxes in front of Anansi with a smile. That tricky Sky God. Well, Anansi did just what Fly said. He had a listen and a feel to the big box, but it was very big and very grand and quite heavy. It could just be filled with rocks. And then he felt the little box. It's small and it's not very interesting. And, well, it's quite light. It could just be filled with air. I wonder what box you would choose. I wonder what box you would choose. I wonder what box I would choose as well. I'm not sure. I don't think I've... Well, Anansi picked very carefully, and he chose the small box. The Sky God didn't look too pleased when Anansi said, "This one, I want this box." In fact, his eyes flared up and he went, "Very well, Anansi. You can take that box if you must and enjoy whatever is inside it." Well, seeing that he probably made the right choice, maybe he went back down where all of the other animals were waiting, looking at the hole in the sky, wondering what had been happening up above. Anansi said, "Well, animals of the kingdom, I bring back this box, and I hope that it is the right box." And he told the animals all about the challenges that he had to face. Well, Lion couldn't wait anymore. He said, "Open it up. Hopefully you've chosen the right box. Hopefully this will help us see better. Hopefully suddenly the sky won't be so dark anymore." they opened up the box. And out of the box came a strange rooster. It was a rooster. And the rooster stood tall. And it puffed out its chest. I'm sure you know what roosters do. I wonder if you can make this sound at home. The rooster puffed out its chest, and with a big loud voice it went cock-a-doodle-doo! And suddenly, out from underneath the earth, a great big orb of light rose to the sky. It was the sun. And suddenly, all of the animals, they could see. Everyone could see. Wow. Anansi had chosen the right box. And every morning after that, the cockerel would caw and make a big, nice, welcoming gesture. And every morning the sun would rise, and it would be nice and warm, and plants were growing better, and animals could see so that they could hunt and farm and see their friends. And at night time the sun would go back down and wait for the cockerel to call it again. And that is how Anansi met the sky gods in the Sky Kingdom. Now, he does see the sky gods other times as well, and maybe, if you are like, I can tell you those stories too. But that was Anansi and the Sky Kingdom. And I think there's something very important in that story. That story talks about how all the other animals and the sky god himself, they didn't believe that someone so small could make a change. But he did, didn't he? Anansi and his tiny friends made a really big change, because all of a sudden the whole world was benefiting from his actions. I think that's an important message. It doesn't matter how small you are, you can make a difference. And even better, if you work as a team, just like Ant did when he brought all of his tiny friends. Well, all of those tiny friends made a big difference when they came together and worked together. And it was the same with Fly. Tiny Fly worked very, very cleverly and brought all of his friends to work as a team. I think there's a message in there somewhere about working as a team, maybe. And about being active, being small but still making a difference. Never, ever, ever let people underestimate how big your voice can be, even if you're small. And that is Anansi and the Sky Kingdom. Thank you so much for listening. It was really nice to see people watching, and yeah, I will be back next Monday at this new time, 4 p.m. I hope it works for everyone. Please let us know if it doesn't. But yeah, I feel like it does. So yeah, let me know, and I will see you next week at 4 p.m. I am thinking, we could either do another Anansi story, because I have lots of them, or we could do one last interactive fairy story before I change things up a little bit. So soon I'm going to be doing maybe less interactive ones, because I think my internet, my latency, I'm not seeing your messages at the moment, so hopefully I'll see your comments next time. But do let us know, write in the comments, and it doesn't, even when the video is finished, you can still comment on it. So let me know if you would like another Anansi story, or if you would like a fairy story instead, and I will tell you one of those next week. Fantastic. I hope you have a really good week. I know that things have been a little bit crazy, and maybe some of you have gone back to school now as well, so I hope that that's going well as well. And I will see you next week. I'm going to stop the video now. Bye!